Hey everybody, I'm Ben Hansen, a UAP researcher and TV host on Discovery Plus and Travel Channel. So I have a brand new UAP pilot reported incident for you. In fact, it was reported by multiple pilots. And this I put together at the request of the Liberation Times, who was doing an article in conjunction with this. So if you want to see the full article and get all the details on how it was reported to them, you can go in the description here in the video. You'll find a link to the article. Basically, a flight attendant had reported that she was brought or asked to come into the cockpit of the flight that she was attending. And she said she overheard conversations with the air traffic control and the pilots. And the radio operator was basically telling the pilots to be on the lookout for unidentified flying objects that were reported by multiple parties in this evening flight. So we really have several flights here. I've got Delta 1063, it seems like they were the first ones who reported it. This was on October 2nd in the early morning hours. So they're heading from Las Vegas to Atlanta, and you can see that flight here. So that blue line you see is the boundary to the Kansas City Center Air Route Traffic Control Center. Okay, we'll just say Kansas City Center. Delta is flying along the southern border of that, almost into the next control center. And you're going to hear American 2480 chime in, which is well northeast, at least by 100 miles or so. Now, the two of them are reporting seeing these UAPs, and the traffic control operator's trying to figure out, well, where are they in relation to each other? It's got to be like in between them. But in reality, you'll hear that they're reporting they're far north of both of these. Later in the communication, we're also going to have a third and fourth aircraft join in saying that they're seeing them. So let's dig into it. Now, I have boosted the audio the best that I can, and I apologize because it is pretty scratchy. This is not the clean version the FAA normally sends us. This is actually feeds that we're able to find, or in some parts you're only hearing the traffic controller side of it and not the pilot. The FOIA that we requested hopefully will have both sides, but I wanted to get this ready in time for the Liberation Times article. So the transcription I provided, I think, will give you the basic idea of what's happening. So let's just go ahead and start playing.
Go ahead. Is there an aircraft, probably 10 o'clock, I don't know, 50, 60 miles north of us? Yeah, at showing 1 to 35, but when do we say? 10 o'clock, you said? Affirmative. You had a couple at 2 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock. Close one, 10 o'clock would be more like 120 miles. All right, you see a really bright light, and then it fades, then it comes back, and it fades. It's going on for about 15 minutes, so we're not sure if there's traffic or not. But, yeah, we were wondering the same thing. Okay. All right, we're not crazy, nothing. And who was the other one that, I guess, was getting the report? That's American 2480. It looks like it's over by Warrensburg. I was wondering if it's a military thing going on. Yeah, American 2480. Yeah, that's, for you, it would be more down towards your, like 5 o'clock is where that has been reported. No, it's about 10 o'clock for us and a lot higher. And Delta 1063, you said like 50 miles? You know, it's kind of hard to judge. For the past 15 minutes, we're like almost flying the same path. It felt like it's always at a 10 o'clock and it hasn't moved. I can't tell you the distance, but it gets really bright and dims out to nothing. If you get traffic at 10 o'clock and 80 miles, 37, that's an Airbus 320. That could be it, but the light gets really bright, so unless they're doing 360s with the lights on, I don't know what else it is. Delta 1063, there's actually another aircraft 20 miles south of you at 45 reporting the same thing, so.
Oh man, it's those UFOs out there, man.
Yeah, it's China.
The other option too.
So this is kind of funny. I mean, they're joking around saying it's UFOs and theories of China or stuff like that. But this is indicative of a larger problem in that pilots and controllers still don't feel very comfortable often talking about this subject. Now remember, Delta 1063 first reported it being that they thought there was an aircraft in their airspace they were not made aware of. They were concerned that this was a safety of flight issue. And then American 2480 chimes in and at first doesn't even provide their call sign, right? They're talking to the controller who had to ask them, who is this? Because they were hesitant to say, right? Then they go, well, you know, at least we know that we're not crazy here. So it's kind of this whole theme of like, should I say anything? Glad to know that we're not crazy, but then there's some more joking. The Embraer Phenom 300, okay, is flying south of them, and they're going to be probably in Fort Worth Center's airspace. They did not have audio available because they're down in the other sector, but that's 3. So 3 aircraft reporting, and now we have Frontier 1522. Now they're a little late to the party. This was about 13 minutes later, so about 4:14 a.m. They're going to come in, probably maybe overhearing some of the chatter that was going on, and they start talking to the controller. So what I'm going to play now, you only hear the controller. You're not going to hear Frontier 1522. Now, how do I know it was them? Because I did take out some audio earlier that was just excessive, and basically they called to check in, and that assumption is that they're still talking to this aircraft. So here's what they say.
In fact, I've had more strange objects in the sky reports than bad ride reports. I don't know, just bright lights that fade out and traveling the same speed and distance as other aircraft. And it's reported by numerous aircraft. Actually, it'd be about 2 o'clock and 60, 70 miles.
So there it is. And I do think there's a good possibility there's multiple additional witnesses, especially in the air traffic control centers adjacent to Kansas City. For now, the controller did say there's numerous aircraft that are reporting to him. So I will keep you updated if anything develops from that. If you have any sightings of your own, especially pilots, crew, airline industry people, you can send them to ufowitness.tv, and also consider subscribing to this channel if you'd like me to continue doing this, because it does take a lot of time to do. All right, thank you so much and stay tuned.